right, cold start, and I know I said you're going to be my dash cam, and that is what is going on. You're going to be my dash cam. So since I'm in here, I'll just flip it around here. So I'll talk about that in just a second, just in case you're re-watching this, because no one's on here right now. You know what's going on. So I'm going to flip this around, and being you're going to be my dash cam, you're going to just see the road, not me. But I'll be back here talking to you guys and catching a chat whenever I can. So let's get out of here and go home. I'm tired, hungry. All right, and now we will switch. Usual, just work my way to the freeway. Hey, somebody jumped in. Wait, oh, there it is. Just got to get my toll tag ready. Dude Mopar, what is up? All the way from Florida. All right, so it is 7:20 over there. It's at 6:20 here. So yeah, I took my dash cam out of this car a while back, and I hate driving without one because all sorts of crazy stuff happens all the time. And I feel like it's one of those things, like when I go without it is when something will happen. So until we get that back in, I'll just use you guys as my dash cam, because this does get saved to YouTube, and that way, you know, you guys don't just have to look at my ugly face talking. You can just see what I see what Dallas roads and Dallas traffic is about. And today, oh shit, I need to, sometimes I forget I drive in manual mode, and I don't know how I forget I need to shift. There's this alley going. Just watched my video on fuel mileage, MDS versus non-MDS. Swipe center scat back temperature as high as 26 miles to the gallon. That's pretty good, 26, I think. When was it? It was after August when I went to Detroit. Don't have a 1320, but Scat Pack sure is a fun car to drive. Yeah, I mean, on the street driving, the 1320 isn't going to be that much difference, because it's really most difference, and the biggest thing it's about. So on the street, they won't be too much different. Plus, I never drive in drag mode anyway on the street. The only difference is I leave the factory drag radials on, so I do get a little bit better traction. But yeah, this thing, I think I was up by 26, 28 miles a gallon before too. Well, I think I've gotten up to that. But I think I've averaged more like 23, 24. Anyway, I did a video after I went to Detroit last year, because I kind of did I think I did a video about my mileage, because I drove this car all the way up there. Now it's a 3,000 mile road trip. So I was just like, you know, this will be a perfect opportunity to actually get a really good mileage check. And I still didn't use MBS. I wasn't testing MBS for non-MBS versus non-MBS. I was just kind of being like, this is what it is. And I don't know, maybe I combined that into my, because I did a video about driving my gutted car on a big road trip. I might have combined the mileage into that. I honestly don't remember. It would have been like around last September or so that I released that video. Otherwise, you better not get taking this car. It's just really fuel mileage instead. You're not allowed to take to the track. Oh man, it's a scab. You should be able to take it to the track. focus on fuel mileage. That's probably the best way I found to be like a good deterrence to the lead foot and trying not to get tickets, because what I just did definitely wouldn't help. But yeah, when you're focused on mileage, it helps a lot keep you under control, or at least helps keep me under control. Hard to hear me? That sucks to hear. I don't know why. I wonder if it's because, no, I don't know. Usually it's not bad. And I've never noticed a difference in sound when I have the camera either pointed, well, it's the same phone in the exact same spot, but I just, do the whole front camera versus rear camera. So right now it's using the rear camera, but I'd imagine the mic should be the same. A little bit louder if I can. Make it a goal, ruin her mileage. Can't yell that loud, but where am I going? Oh wait, no, right here. Yeah, this is my wife. Well, we have a Ram, which sometimes I do these streams from the Ram. Probably a lot easier to hear me in a Ram because it is quiet. Oh, you're using a JBL speaker. You hear me fine. All right. Hey, by the way, hey Anthony, how you doing? Welcome to my weekly. I say weekly. I missed last week. That's my bad. I actually didn't go into the office last week. My daughter was sick and had to stay home from school. And wife had stuff going on, so I did not drive into the office last week, which meant no commute home. And I was honestly just feeling weird as usual, so I wasn't up for doing some sort of live stream from my house. And it wouldn't be Ride and Chat anymore. But yeah, so I missed last week, so sorry about that. Try to get back on schedule. Next week, I'm going to be doing it a little bit earlier, because there's a school thing going on, so I need to get home a little bit earlier, so I'll be on like 2 hours earlier next week. Dude Mopar, you're a bracket racer. Chat's disappeared. Love the 1320 better than a Hellcat. It's not weird. These things, these 1320s, like I brought up before, how well they launch. They will easily out-launch a Hellcat. Like, I've raced several Hellcats. I've raced my buddy's Hellcat, and one of my buddies, who has been in my videos, he's got a red wide-body Hellcat, and he actually used to own a 1320, and he admits that, like, his Hellcat does not launch anything like his 1320 did. Now, in a quarter, his Hellcat's still faster, and the thing picks up speed quick in the back half of the track. But yeah, the launch is definitely better. They're torquier. And I know a couple other people have had Hellcats and 1320s. And not saying anything bad about the Hellcats. I mean, I'd love to have a Hellcat too. But a lot of them, they either miss the 1320 or the difference isn't as big as they thought it would be. Is really what I'm trying to say. Biggest, if they go to a red eye, then that's a pretty big difference. Like, one guy who had a 1320, he just got a, oh shit, there I go again, missing my exit. So I got used my dash cam, so if I do that, you can see that's all my fault and I'm being stupid. But yeah, so one guy in one of the 1320 groups has had a 1320 since pretty much they came out, and he just upgraded to a red eye, and he's already run like a 1049 quarter mile in that, pretty much stock. I think he did have wheels on it, that's about it, so a little bit of a difference there. Oh, forgot my toll tag. There we go. We got here, Wagoneer. right up on my ass. Old ass Ford truck right there, it just passed me up. He like came right up on my ass. That's what I just did. I just tried to like jump out, get out of the way, because the hell. No signal, battle elf, no signal. Oh man, I'm sorry. Hopefully it picks right back up. Downside of driving while streaming. I don't have our track that bad as yours. I don't know, I've driven in Florida a lot. And I can get away from this old truck. Dude, that windshield, you probably can't see it on camera. His windshield is smashed. Looked like he like headbutted his windshield. It's right in front of his face. So he clearly doesn't give a crap about that truck. Oh yeah. Oh, that guy, no signal. Yeah, well, I also, dude, what the hell is this dude? Really? What the hell is he doing? Tacoma thinks that he's on a freaking NASCAR track. And look at this dude. Dude, what the hell? See, this is why I need a dash cam. It's like that first dude. Like, okay, fine, I like gunned it, so I came up quick, although he didn't use a signal. Even when I just do that, it's crazy out here. Yeah, dash cam definitely is mandatory. That's why it's like, I feel so weird, because I have one in my truck, and then I have a second one for my car, but then I took it out. I forgot, I was having issues, and I wasn't driving on the street, so I was like, oh, let me just take it out. Actually, you know what? It was before the Houston race in January, because I was like going crazy with every single ounce I could find to pull out, going for that 10-cent quarter mile. So I'm like, I'm not going to use this dash cam for the track. So I took it out and forgot to put it back in. Got one in all your cars rear cam. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I need to do that this week. I need to put it back in. The one I have, it does have a rear cam. It's not the best, but it works good enough. It serves a purpose. So I'll probably put that back in this weekend. I was supposed to get a really nice dash cam. I had not Blackview, I forgot what they were called, but I looked it up. They have really good reviews. They're better known. And they reached out to me asking me about, doing like a product review type of deal where they send me the dash cam and I do a video and review. And then I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And then I never heard from them again. No, and I was looking forward to that because it was a really good camera. But I'm probably just going to have to buy one. Oh, crap. Here's that Ford truck. This Ford truck is just going bonkers behind me. And there he is. He's back over there. So earlier comment about the traffic as bad as Florida. Yeah, I don't know, because I go to Florida a lot. Like last year, I was in Florida 2 or 3 times, I think. Orlando area every time. Orlando, Panhandle, driving from Texas, I go through the Panhandle and then down to Orlando. At least out there, a lot of people drive crazy, but it seems like they kind of know what they're doing, or at least think they know what they're doing and just going for it. And I know California is like that too. They just kind of go for it. Here, the problem is a lot of people hesitate. A lot of people are just like literally scared to drive. And they will hesitate. They'll ride their brakes. They're jumpy. They'll stop for no reason. And then you have your mix of other people that do know how to drive, and just combining all the different types of people driving ain't good. But the ones that are scared, that hesitate, those are ones that I hate, I can't stand. Do I still have my AC connected? Yes, I do still have AC in here. I've debated pulling it out because I have pulled out my AC in one of my old trucks I used to race. But I am in Dallas, and we do get over 100-degree days routinely, and it's not a dry heat like those people in Arizona or New Mexico. That you could say that's a dry heat. This is not a dry heat. It's humid here, so and it's 100. It feels hot. But like last year, we had, I don't know, like 40 or 45 days above 100 degrees last summer. And obviously, you're in my car with me now, commuting home from the office, so I do have to drive this car. It is not a track-only car. So therefore, my AC stays in. I do pull the dash vent blower motor out though when I go to the track, because that literally takes like 2 minutes to pull in and out. And that little vent blower motor has got some weight to it. I haven't weighed it yet because I've been meaning to do a video, because kind of like a how-to for people that need to replace it, fix it. I'll get a weight on it when I do that video, but it's a heavy little tiny thing that's easy to take out. So I always take that out when I'm at the track. One time I took it out though, it's like freezing cold at the track. And then I was shivering in the car. I think I came through in one of my videos where I was just shivering in the car, and I kind of wished I had it, but I was like really gunning for 10 seconds back at that time, so left on there. Yeah, I wonder how much that weighs. I know I talked to somebody, but I think it's probably good for like the AC compressor alone is, I feel like 25 pounds or something like that. Oh, you're an hour and 10 minutes from Orlando Speed World. Okay, yeah, that's where, well, that was one of my trips to Florida last year, was to Orlando Speed World when I did the Hemi Shootout. So I actually drove out there, it was March of last year, drove out there, and I actually drove to Titusville, because I was, originally was going to stay at a KOA, but then I figured I had to rent an enclosed trailer. So then I changed my mind the last second. I was like, I'll just sleep in my trailer at the track, which is what I did. How many miles do I got on 1320? I have right now 9,747. So I haven't hit 10,000, but I'll hit the 10,000 mark in the next few weeks for sure. I'm probably going to be driving it a little bit more this year. Plus, I'm driving it up, or I'm planning, unless some changes, I'm planning to drive it up to Oklahoma. They have the Southern Plains Mopar Fest, and they're doing street legal drag, arm drop drags on Route 66. So I'm planning on doing that, and that's going to be interesting. So I will literally get in my car, drive it up there, and just drag race. No wheel swapping, no nothing. I'll be, and I don't have any smaller wheels, so I'm just going to be riding the stock 20s when I go do that race. So we'll see. It's 8th mile street drags, no time slips, no. It's basically just heads up, run what you brung for fun, unprepped street, Route 66. So it'll be different. Kind of looking forward to trying that out. Dude, Mopar, you watched that vid? Oh, yeah, when I was at Speed World. Yeah, I had a few vids from that, because I was there for the Friday Test and Tune, and I live streamed that because I didn't take part. Then Saturday was Horsepower Wars, and then Sunday was the Hemi Shootout. So I had like 3 different vids from that weekend. What's the latest with the potential 170 purchase? Yeah, it's not happening. Everyone that has thought about doing MSRP, like, instantly changed their minds. I'm in a couple different groups, and I saw, actually a lot of people said that even the ones that were doing small, like $50,000 markups, apparently they reneged on those deals, because once they start seeing other dealers doing 100K over, I heard a bunch of dealers actually just broke the deal with people and added markup on there. So yeah, it's not happening. I mean, if there was by some miracle I found out that there's some out there or a dealer selling MSRP, you know, I'll jump on it at that time. But Yeah, there's nothing going on. And like I said, I'm in a couple Demon 170 groups, and then there's none out there that I know of. You know, I said I was going to cut down racing, but how much racing do you think you're going to do this year? Yeah, money is a problem. Last year I drove over 10,000 miles, and with everything, it was expensive. My wife got laid off beginning of this year, so money's been really tight. Hopefully she's looking good for landing a job finally, but literally like first week of January, your company out of nowhere just like laid off a bunch of people, including her, and the market's been tough. So yeah, that's why not a lot of racing has gone on. There is Race Wars locally in June, which I think I might do. Then obviously the Sun Plains Motor I was just talking about. But the 2 races for sure I'm going to. Detroit in August, and that's kind of why I'm slacking or taking easy on races now, because I want to save up for Detroit. Because I'm going to go to Detroit for sure in August. That'll be a weekend of the Dream Cruise. And then Holly Mo Party in Kentucky in September. I'm definitely doing that because it's looking like we're going to have an amazing turnout of 1320s at Holly Mo Party. Because Holly Mo Party, they actually have a 1320 only drag racing class, which is pretty cool on its own. There's no one that has that, and that's one reason why so many 1320s show up at that race. This year is actually going to be even a little bit more special because this year it's in memorial of Jeff Smith. I don't know if any of you know who Jeff Smith is. He unfortunately passed away last year. I actually raced him at Holly Mo Party, and I hate saying this, but I think it was the last race ever he did before he passed away. But really cool guy. I didn't know him very well. I met him at Mo Party. Awesome dude. He is like one of those people that just like you meet him for 5 minutes and he'll like impact your life. He's just a really awesome dude. So they're naming the 1320 shootout class in his memorial, which is really awesome. So if you have a 1320, go out to Holly Mo Party this year. If you don't have a 1320 and you have a Mopar, still go out there. They have other classes too. They have a Hellcat Red Eye Demon class, a True Street class. I think they have a stick shift class. Then of course they have like Nostalgia Super Stock and Hemi Super Stock. So they have classes for all the old Mopars too, which I can switch it because now we're stopped. So I don't really need the dash cam for the moment. I saw it and looks like I've got a little bit here. How reliable are Challengers? I mean, most people I know, they're pretty reliable. I know there's one person I know, former friend of mine, I haven't talked to him forever, but he has a Furious Fuchsia, which I believe is a 2011 or 2010. The dude is like put 290,000 miles on the car. And it's a 5.7 RT. And he takes a drag strip, and I remember seeing one of his posts where he went over 280,000 miles, and he had just taken it to the drag strip and ran like a 13-second quarter mile the week before. So they can be reliable. Of course, you have your bad ones. I mean, I know people whose engines have blown at 7,000 miles, but under warranty, and they've had their engine replaced. So same as, you know, as reliable as any other car, really, I'd say. Just discovered my style of racing. What is my style of racing? Oh, there's a Camaro trying to show off. Weight reduction, bracket racing. I'm not sure. I didn't know I had a style of racing, but that's cool. How's the build quality compared to Toyota? Well, okay, the build quality, I mean, all mass-produced vehicles have issues with build quality. I mean, I have issues with this car that I do hate. There's a couple pictures I have out there in the parking lot, and you know, you get the reflection of the parking lot line, and it's like the parking lot line on the fender to the door is like this, because the gap is good, but like one panel is slightly pulled in over the other. Which is just a build quality thing. Obviously, when the 2015 refresh first came out, I mean, how many taillights did you see where the LED taillights were misaligned? It seemed like half the Challengers I saw when 2015 refresh first came out all had misaligned taillights. I mean, that is what it is. And Toyota, I don't know, I feel like they just have been building the same car for 30 years. So, you know, slight different changes, but they've been building the same thing forever. So there's probably something that goes into that. And I worked at a Toyota dealership. When I was in collision, I actually worked at a Toyota dealership. They had their own collision center. And I worked there for a while. So I saw a ton of Toyotas. And I don't know how it compares. I mean, I hate talking bad about Dodge, or I don't like talking good about Toyotas because I hate Toyotas, but they're fairly reliable, I guess. Probably a little bit better than a Challenger. But then again, think about this with the Challengers: who's driving Toyotas? Old people, moms, people who don't care about cars. Because Toyotas, to me, they're just blah. They're plain. Sorry if anyone hears it, but that's just how I feel. They're just kind of plain. So the people that have the Toyotas, they're not racing them, they're not driving them hard. Whereas the Challengers, how do you think most people are driving these things? I mean, you saw a couple spots on the road there with me. We're driving these cars hard. And when you're driving cars like that, they're obviously gonna have more problems than the car that, you know, gets babied. All right, we're switching back because now we're driving again. Give me just a second so I can railroad track. Thanks, dude. No problem. We would do a Halamenu. I know what you mean, Halimo party. Except next week you're going to No Name Nationals instead. The hurricane kept us from going that this year. I understand that. Road trips, it's hard to make too many happen, and sometimes you've got to make choices. Which ones are, you know, more important to you? Which ones have, you know, can you win bigger prizes at better class? Whatever reasons, there's, you know. Can't make them all. Trust me, I wish I could have made it to Orlando last month. Would love to be out there again, but I missed it. It happens. Don't knock the old Mopars. Was I knocking old Mopars? I don't mean to knock old Mopar. Trust me, my dad worked he was a pipe fitter in Warren's stamping plant for Chrysler. He retired from Chrysler. So my dad actually was in an Warren stamping plant. That's where they actually, while he was there, that's where they stamped all the sheet metal for the Ram trucks. So, you know, I'm from, you know, Detroit, where they built them, and half my family worked in the plants. My dad was a pipe fitter, had an uncle who's a millwright, other family members that worked at the Chrysler plants. So trust me, I am not going to knock anything old Mopar stuff there. Yeah, comparing Toyota to Dodge is yeah, it definitely is. Most new vehicles have no soul. Yeah, and that's how I feel. A lot of them don't. Goals are different. Toyota's all about reliability, going from A to Z, unless you get a Supra. Yeah. Yeah, Toyotas are, you know, definitely a different goal. They're conservative. They just do things conservatively, and yeah, they're just like be on the road reliably, and that's kind of, you know, it's worked for them. I mean, that's how they made that goal. And then obviously you had the big deal in the 80s with, you know, American car reliability versus Japanese car reliability, and then you had that Michael Keaton movie that was all about that. And then obviously me growing up in Detroit, it was, you know, all on everybody's mind, and, you know, trying to tell people like, buy American or buy American made. Hey Mike, how you doing? New Circle D converter installed, picking up tomorrow just in time for the first Rockingham MSA. Man, I wish I could go that race too. Well, that's awesome. Hopefully that converter works good for you. looking forward to hear how that works out for you, for sure. That'll be interesting. Mike Mitchell, Mike, the other Mike. We have two mics. Mike, the other Mike, who is from the UP. Had my car track last weekend. Ran a 1258 best on Nexon's full trunk. Come on. How can you watch my stuff and have a full trunk? You guys should know better than that. Nah, that's cool. Well, that's awesome. You finally got out to the track up there. So all the snow and everything is melted away. Feel like the UP, you don't get very much non-winter time in the UP, I would think. Actually, I'm debating coming up to the UP this summer. We usually, every year, we do a family road trip. And last year we went to South Dakota. And I was kind of looking for places we can go differently. And actually, the UP is not much more of a drive than South Dakota was, because if we did it, we would come up through Wisconsin. So it's in my, because I've only been to UP one time with a buddy of mine a long time ago. Went up to Sault Ste. Marie, to Quamannon Falls. We didn't make it all the way to Marquette. I think we were trying to, but then we were like young and stupid and we're running out of money and gas. So like, oh crap, we need to turn around and go back home. But yeah, I might come up there this year, not for racing, just other stuff. Space Dog, running any race gas tunes or just weight reduction? Didn't see any videos regarding it. No, this car, and everyone that knows me, that's watched my stuff or met me, this car, the drivetrain, powertrain, 100% stock. The tune is completely stock. Computer has not been touched. Still has a full warranty. It is all weight reduction. The only thing you can kind of call me out on for a performance mod is I have the CAI from a TA, but it's a factory one that comes on the TAs, which are still rated the exact same power levels that the standard scat is. So yeah, butternut, stock tune. Now I have run, not during my 10-second pass, I was just running straight 93 pump gas. So nothing special, just got 93 from a local Shell gas station, and that's it. I have other times I have run either Boostane or I have put in some MS-109, because the computer will make some slight adjustments. So even with a stock tune, you can see a little bit of a difference with higher octane fuels. And I saw it first. I know a buddy, a guy I met in Orlando. He had a 1320 running 11.7s, and he wanted to run 11.5 class, so he bought a 5-gallon pail of MS-109 from somebody, dumped the whole thing in his like almost empty tank. So he was running pretty much, the ratio was way more MS-109. And after a few passes, his car started learning, like adjusting, and he kept going faster, and he ended up running 11.4s. And that's all he did. And the weather didn't improve that much, because, I mean, I was running pretty much the same times all weekend. So that was definitely the MS-109 that he put in kicking in. Anthony, Gung Ho, yep, that's the one. You remember that movie. Yep, Tucker. Yeah, man, I always loved Michael Keaton, and I loved his 80s movies, which is so weird when he became Batman. I feel that was one of the reasons I was like, this guy can't be Batman, because he always played like the comedic stuff. But yeah, Gung Ho. Yeah, because he was like working a factory in Ohio, I think was the premise. Mike, you had snow this morning. Well, good thing you got out to the track before that. E85, no E85 tune or anything like that. I do know people that have an E85 tune, and if it's tuned right, they picked up a lot. So there are two other Hellraising 1320s that I race with at Hollywood Party. One has a bit more weight reduction and an E85 tune, and he is now running, his best is actually better than mine. And then there's another Hellraising 1320. He's got headers and a tune, and his tune is pretty much neck and neck last year at No Party. They're faster than me between the headers and the tune. most part, we were running pretty much side by side. And actually, his personal best, I think, is almost identical to my personal best in this car. But now, as far as tunes go, I'm waiting for direct connection to see what's going on. Space Dog wanted to try boosting just for fun by Superpros and follows it. Yeah, I've heard about fouling plugs. I know the biggest thing is when you tear apart the engine, it turns everything orange. I actually have a little bit of boosting in my car right now, so I'm still running on the gas. Well, when I went to the big showdown, I put the video out. Yeah, I still have to edit it. I went to the big showdown, so as you know, I was part of Team Boostain. And so they gave me a can of Boostain, so I threw some in for the big showdown. And then I had an extra 5 gallons of gas in the gas can I always take to the track with me. So after the race, the 5 gallons in. So I do still have a little bit of Boostain mixed fuel in the car right now. So this will be the or anything. I'll let you guys know. But I don't run it regularly, and I don't plan on running it regularly. I'd much rather run straight race fuel, which even I was talking to the boosting guy, me and a buddy at the big showdown, and he said, if you're worried about the orange, making your stuff orange or all that, they do now sell race fuel. And that race fuel does not have, and I think the ingredient is MMT or something like that. It's a specific ingredient in the additive that turns everything orange, and is what people claim is what fouls plugs. But maybe it's true. I honestly don't know. There's enough to it that I don't know that I would want to run it regularly. Ronald Reyes, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you jump in here too. All right, so we got 12 of you watching. That's pretty cool for the fact that you guys are literally just watching me driving. Well, not me driving. You're watching the road instead of just a picture of me. Oh man, I was like, why is my car sounding weird all of a sudden? And I forgot because I was trying to catch up on comments, and I'm trying to be safe, as safe as I can driving. So normally I keep it in manual mode, but I threw it in a drive auto. That way it's one less thing I deal with while I'm driving home and talking to you guys. But I hate that sound, so maybe I hear it more because I have no interior, but when the MDS kicks in, and I have a stock exhaust, minus the active delete, so it's a fully open exhaust, it just sounds so bad. I feel like I talk about that all the time, about how bad the MDS sounds when it kicks in. Thanks for rolling down for the 392 again. Hey, you're welcome. That's what I'm trying to. Dodge and SRT, those guys did a good job with the 392. I mean, yeah, people complain about it, not being able to take too much boost and all that, but for what it is, they did a pretty good job with everything. I mean, and I show that. That's why you have to, if you get a tune or if you do some mods, you really need to make sure that you get with someone that knows what they're doing, because I've seen too many people start modding up their 392s, and they'll get a higher peak horsepower, but they'll sacrifice horsepower in different parts of the range, or they'll get higher top end speeds, but they'll sacrifice launches, and very few, it seems like, know what they're doing. So I know Cetera Tuning, Jeremy Cetera, he tunes one of the Hell Racing 1320s, seems to be doing a pretty good job. There's another tuner, Say When Tuning. I think they're in either Florida or Georgia or Alabama, somewhere around there. They tune the other Hell Racing 1320 I know, who's obviously performing pretty good, so I know their tunes are pretty good. There's a couple others, but there's some you have to watch out for. Those Jersey barriers are close. Yeah, that's things in this part of Texas, Dallas especially, is growing. Like the towns I'm around routinely get like highest growth year by year. And now we have like the PGA headquarters is moving here. Resorts being built here, all sorts of stuff getting building. So they're widening these roads because the traffic on this road is so bad. And there's just so much construction. Oh, fuel light just came on. I'm gonna have just enough gas to get home. Thinking about buying a new Challenger. Keep in mind stock being a 2023. Do it. I would absolutely do it. I don't know what your other choices are, but I love this car. This is probably one of the best things a purchase I ever made. But again, I am biased. I am a Dodge Mopar no car person. It's all I've ever driven. I've had 5 Dodge Rams, this Challenger, a Dodge Avenger, Dodge Caravan minivan. Heck, when I was an insurance adjuster, I got a company car and they had a fleet of Fords with a few Chrysler Sebrings. And I told them right up front, I'm like, you guys either give me the Chrysler Sebring or I'm not driving one of the Fords. So I am biased, especially so if you're talking about a Challenger versus a Mustang Camaro, I will say Challenger all day long. Scat Pack Sublime Green. I love that color. I just love the different colors. All my stuff used to be black. I love black, and black cars that when they're clean, gorgeous, but like everyone says, are hard to keep clean. The Hellraisin isn't much easier. Holy crap. The Hellraisin, when this color gets dirty, it just looks brown. Like just a dirty, ugly brown. It changes the whole hue. It's so weird. But I do like a lot of the high impact colors. Love Sublime Green. What else? Yeah. Sorry, there's a Challenger over here. I was shaking it. You're a pro detailer. Black is horrible. Yeah, and it's like I remember my 2002 Ram. I ordered. It was my first vehicle I ever special ordered. And I took care of it, did the 2-bucket wash method, and I would only wash like 1 panel at a time between rinsing it because, you know, try and do whatever I could to make sure that the water didn't dry. So I was constantly wetting it and waxed it, did all sorts of stuff, and still, like, after 10 years, swirls were crazy. And then I had an asshole friend of mine do the whole wash me, you know, with his finger on my hood. Because I had slack for about a week, and of course that wash me was imprinted for the rest of its life. Probably could have used some paint correction, but I no longer have that car truck. Yeah, dark colors in general, yeah, for sure, are hard to keep clean. Light colors are the best. Yeah, my Ram is white, and it's the first vehicle I've ever had that was, well, not counting the Sebring when I was an auto adjuster, but then also that had a big, huge wrap for the insurance company. But my Ram, oh man, my Ram, this is bad, but I let it get way dirtier than it should because it like hides the dirt. And there's a reason why if you ever go to West Texas, you go out in the oil fields, West Texas is all just dusty, sandy desert. But like every single work truck in West Texas is white. Besides the dust, a big reason for that is obviously the sun gets hot, and if you ever if you have a black vehicle and you're in a desert where it's 100 degrees out and the sun is shining on it, you will burn yourself on dark color paint. So the white helps with that too, and it helps keep the interior cooler too when you're out there all day. But yeah, so I like for my fun car, I would not get white, but like my Ram, white looks good, and I like it. It serves a purpose and all that good stuff. Indigo blue, yeah, jazz blue is a good color. There's one guy following Instagram. He's got a jazz blue Challenger, and that's unique. You don't see very many jazz blue cars out there. Once in a while I'll see one, but not that often. Oh, what's somebody got there? Chevy, big wheel car. Yeah, indigo blue is cool. I just saw indigo blue this morning. That was a good color. Lived in San Angelo for years. San Angelo, that's like west of Austin, right? North of Midland, Odessa, west of Austin, kind of out towards like Abilene area, I think. Something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've been all over Texas. I've been to San Angelo. I've been Lubbock, Tyler, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Midland, Odessa. I think I've been just about every somewhat well-known town in Texas except San Angelo. So I'm sure I've been all around it. Yeah, pure desert. Yeah, not much out there. I drove up to Moab last month, family spring break vacation, and we were driving up to, well, we were going through Amarillo, and holy crap, we hit a dust storm, which is pretty common. I worked in Lubbock for a month. Dust storms were fairly the kind of dust storms where you can't see 10 feet in front of you. Yeah, tornadoes. We got some, I know there were some tornadoes going on yesterday. And then we actually have tornadoes. So there was supposed to be, for anyone that watched my previous live 2 weeks ago, I was talking to Just a 2V Racing. He has an old Mustang. And we were talking about they have a streetcar takeover this weekend. Which I was talking about going because his brother was going to do Mustang, and I was like, all right, perfect. I've been wanting to race a Mustang. I haven't raced a Mustang in this car yet. But they canceled Streetcar Takeover this weekend because there's supposed to be a bunch of storms tomorrow afternoon, evening. So that'll cancel out the Friday night racing. And then Saturday, there might be some rain, and I guess they had decided the little chance they have of rain Saturday, and with Friday not looking good all day, they postponed Streetcar Takeovers. So no racing this weekend. They're moving that to September now. So I might make Streetcar Takeover when it comes back in September. Making pretty good time. Well, we've been on 47 minutes. I'm actually about 5 minutes from home, so made decent time. Now up to 9,764 miles. All right, here, this road is bad. There's some really bad crashes on this road all the time, so I'm gonna keep the dash cam going. And we're off the main road. So actually now, good day to you. Good day. Got here in time. Yes, you did. We've got about 5 more minutes left. In fact, now that we're off the main road, we're on the, let's adjust this. There we go. We're off the main road, and I'm going through another neighborhood to get to my neighborhood. So I don't need you to be I'm saying that I should knock on wood because there's still little side streets, so you never know, people do stupid crap in neighborhoods too. But don't really need you to be my dash cam now, so we'll flip to me. You guys don't want to see where I live anyway, I'm sure. That's probably one of those things that's not a good idea to throw on, live internet stuff, probably. Although if anybody wanted to, they could probably figure it out. Dude Mopar, gotta go. Have a great... Hey, thanks for jumping in. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you chatting with me, making it a little bit more interesting of a stream and not so boring. Although we did have a little bit of craziness on a freeway where we had people cutting me off and driving like idiots, but we made it through there with enough gas too, almost empty. So I'm gonna need to next time I drive this, go straight to the gas station, which I don't know if you guys have ever come across this. So I have never run out of gas while driving in any vehicle whatsoever. I've cut it close, but I've never done it. And then one time I got really close to running out in this car, but I was like, all right, I've got plenty of mileage range left to get home and then just hit the gas station on the corner after. But I got home, and then like 2 days later, went to go start up the car, wouldn't start, wasn't getting fuel. So I guess I must have started the fuel pumps, or like after I shut it off, it drained out of the fuel pump or something. And then at that point, it couldn't get any back in, and so that was kind of weird. So that was the first time I've ever run out of gas, but luckily it was in my garage. So I just, took my truck, filled up my 5-gallon gas can, and filled it up, and then I was all good. For my Kirky, what weighs more, the seat or the seat bracket? I think it's a seat bracket because I have that Planet Tech, which is solid steel. It's a great bracket, but it is heavy. I'm pretty sure that weighs more. I'll have to check out. So my my Kirky seat vid that I did, where it starts out weird because I originally got a Brahms seat and I weighed up the Brahms seat and then something didn't fit, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get a Kirky because the Brahms actually wasn't as light as I thought it was gonna be. So I switched to the Kirky, and I remember in that video when I got the Kirky, actually before I got the Kirky, I think when I was still on the Braum part, I weighed up the Braum. I'm pretty sure I weighed up the Planetech base that I have on its own, and then I know I weighed the Kirky up later on its own. So I'll have to look at that video. But they're pretty, if the base isn't heavier, it's pretty much the same. It's right around that. So it is pure steel. Okay, gotta drive through the alley here where we got like a million alley kids. You used to all the time. Can't remember what that was about, but that's all right. You're a potential new Dodge customer. I mean, there's something about these cars, and I know people that. All right, I'm home. I'm in my driveway, so I'm just gonna stop for a second. I've talked to people who have driven in Camaros and in Mustangs and Challengers, and they said Challenger is a completely different experience. I don't really know because I've never driven in a Mustang. I have driven in a Camaro that back in my collision days because I had to drive people's cars. And I remember like the visibility, like see this quarter window here? You could kind of see out of it in a chat. Granted, I don't have trim, so you can't see as much with the trim, but the Camaro, you really don't have visibility. And I just didn't like the Camaros at all. You've only driven mostly Chevy and one Mustang. I had good experience, different things. I say that. I never will because I don't care to. I've driven plenty of other stuff. When I was in collision, I drove so many different people's cars. I have no desire to. It's weird. I say it's not really brand loyalty in a way like I'm just staying loyal to a brand. It has to do with it, like it's hard to explain. I sit in other cars and I just feel weird. I don't like it. I just feel anxious, and when I sit in a Dodge, I just feel at home. And it's the best way I can describe it. But so yeah, my opinion is very biased. Yep, find a hard lightweight seat bracket. Yeah, problem with seat bracket too is they gotta be kind of strong, because I do know with this Kirky, I really need to get a harness bar so I can get rid of this and get a 5-point harness. But also there should be, technically you're supposed to brace it up here, and I have nothing bracing it. So all my weight is all attached to the bottom brackets. So it's been holding up. I mean, I've driven on road trips and racing, so it's been fine. But sometimes I hear it creak, and I do feel I need to eventually get a harness bar and get a brace on behind it here. All right, let's see what else we got here. Did my ride height change with all the weight removed? Is the car sitting higher now, or no? Might take back seats out. Yeah, whatever seating. Most seats are pretty easy. Like I timed it when I had all my interior still in here. I timed removing the passenger seat and the rear seats with hand tools, and it took me 5 minutes. And I have a video where I do real time, 5 minutes to pull a seat. It actually takes a little longer to put the seats back in because you got to, work it through the door and align the studs and holes and all that stuff. So it'll take like 10 minutes to put them back in, but easy way. Ride height, I do feel it's a little higher than stock. I mean, just imagine a 500-pound person sitting in a car and think of how much it kind of dips down. Well, I took 500 pounds out. So yeah, I think it is noticeable if I'm next to other 1320s, because 1320s seem to have a slightly different ride height because of the suspension. My ride height is a little bit different, which you'll see for anyone that comes out to Moparty. We'll definitely see, because there'll be a lot of 1320s there that'll be right next to. Never had a Hemi. You should have. The Hemis are awesome. Don't have anywhere to store all that stuff, dude. I haven't posted this picture. All my entire interior, everything I've taken out, is literally jam-packed into my closet in my office in my house. I put it there because I didn't want an attic, because it gets like 100+ degrees out here in Dallas, and I want to keep my interior because it's basically new, so I want to keep it that way. So I put it in my house so it's climate controlled and stays in better condition. But yeah, it's literally shoved. It takes up my entire closet. It's kind of funny. I can get a picture of it and post that up there. Had Mustangs and Camaros. There you go, Anthony. Artillery buff. He's had all three. So there's a better opinion from someone that has experienced the other stuff. The challenge you're looking at is on your channel. Outcast. All right. Well, cool. I'll check out your channel later. See what you got going on there. Did you take up the sound deadener? No. I have not taken out the sound deadener because here's my thing. All my weight reduction, like, I'll get people talking crap to me all the time about it. And one of my points that I always say is, give me a day and I can put it all right back exactly how it was, and you never know the difference. Technically, I could pull the sound deadener and you would never know, because once you have it installed, put everything back in, you wouldn't even see it. But it's harder to replace. So I feel like I want to leave that in because that can't really technically be undone unless you get new sound deadener. But then will it be factory unless you get factory stuff, which obviously I was saying this, so I thought if I ever did it, I'd probably buy a whole set from Dodge and that way have it on hand, so then I can say, well, I could still put it back the way it was. I'm weird like that. So but I have seen people, it does. There's a I've seen people say that's worth about 20 pounds. And I know there's a guy in California with a Mustang. He actually did the weight reduction and did the pulled the AC out, but he pulled all sound deadener. And I found the biggest trick: dry ice. So if you do it, throw dry ice on the sound deadener and it'll just chip right off. Because I've seen people try to like scrape it off and it's a mess. But you put dry ice on it, it like turns it into this like chippable, like it just flakes right off. So do that. Okay, it's an old channel, updated, 7 years old. That's all right. Now, hey, the first video on this channel was from 2014 and it's a dyno run with my Ram. That was my first ever video. It was like a 30-second video, and then I did nothing for like 8 years or 10 years. But anyway, I'm home. My wife just opened up the garage door and like walked out the door like, what are you doing out there? I'm just sitting in a driveway. So thanks for, and we're about to hit the hour, so perfect timing. So thanks for watching, appreciate it. And again, I'll be back next week, but I'll be about I'm gonna be on 2 hours earlier next week. So you should try to come on 6 o'clock Central Time. Next week it'll be 4 o'clock Central Time. So anyway, thanks again for watching and chatting.